It's episode 4 of Make Me Stronger. Dr. Mark is alongside, if I may salute you in the way of the times.
So this is just a different way to maybe continue to have constant work like this, but it's not necessarily driving your heart rate way high and then dropping it way low like a high intensity workout would do. It's trying to just kind of sustain it as a little bit higher, just like it would mimic running outside or jogging outside.
I know you like to make fun of me sometimes because of my focus on endurance training, but it really does make me feel better.
Kind of feel like we need a plug here. I don't make fun of him for doing cardiovascular training. That's actually
He does make fun of me sometimes.
It's only the cardiovascular training.
Okay.
There needs to be a little bit more, which is why with what we're going to be showing today too, it is to kind of get just a different type of stress on your body that's not just a plug and chug type of way.
I love the plug and chug. Okay, great. Well, let's get to it in the limited space that we have up here in the attic once again.
So first we're starting with a side lunge into an overhead reach, and notice we're going to the side lunge first, then adding the reach second. So the lead leg you're sinking into, and that's the one that you sink into the hip, sink into the heel, don't go up on the toe. The trailing leg, nice, firm, and straight, and then you add reach over top. And trying to work on depth of going down into the hip and going into the lunge. So Matt's walking out into the plank position and then now walking his feet in, and you can see he tries to get to a flat foot position at the top. I've also coached him that you're feeling like you have a string up at your butt pulling straight up to the ceiling, and you're trying to push firmly through the arms as if you're about to go into like a handstand. That's the important part of that. You're feeling like the abs are kind of pulling your legs in. If hamstrings limit you in this position, just go as far as you can. And just as a little option, if you want to add a little more difficulty, you can add the push-up like he did here. And then pulling the legs back up into that again. And again, if the hamstrings limit you or your shoulder mobility or back mobility kind of limit you, do as best you can, just push up into that. And the more that you do this, the best or the better it will become. This is also a kind of a great alternative to just a sit and stretch for flexibility. You're kind of actively working through, and it's a great mobility exercise as well for the hamstrings, the shoulders, the back. Now here we got a pretty good coordination exercise and balance exercise. If the balance is a little bit tricky, you can kind of reset. So notice the lunge and then maybe tap the toe if you need to, just to reset to keep that leg straight. And then you're going into this single leg deadlift with a straight leg. And what you're trying to focus on with the lunge is you're sinking into the hip again. And then with the RDL, you're trying to make sure you're hinging at the hip. So you're not letting the back round, you're keeping the leg straight. It's almost like you're folding like a book right at the hip. You can notice my back staying as straight as possible, the leg trying to stay as straight as possible. If it bends a little bit, that's just hamstrings kind of maybe holding back a little bit, and that's all right. Just try to keep that nice and firm and raising the back leg for balance. So now we got a skater bounds, and notice he's leaping from one foot to the other. Again, if you just go your own pace, if you can only do a little bit, half jump, if you can only do a portion of what he's doing, that's okay. Just try to leave the ground and land. He's working on soft landings, jumping from one foot to the other. Notice the opposite arm and opposite leg are kind of just like he's running. You can work on depth of this. Once you land, sink down into it and really get down into the hip. Again, foot's flat and making sure that you're just pushing off into the jump and leaping, landing softly.
Well, I'm glistening, my heart's pounding, my breath is labored. I did all 4 of those in a row.
And that's the idea, is like you're doing these exercises, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about this now, about how you use these type of things. So we're using them in a circuit fashion where you can run through one time down or one down and back with one exercise, switch to the next exercise, and you can roll through that, as many cycles as you feel fit. Set your timer. If you typically do like a 20-minute, 30-minute treadmill session or bike session, okay, set 20, 30 minutes, and you're going to run through these exercises without rest. Cool. And you're just trying to run through that. And you take breaks in between the exercises as absolutely necessary. But again, remember that we're trying to sustain heart rate just like you would if you were on a treadmill or if you were on a bike. You're stressing your body in a bunch of different ways than just having maybe some support or stability with either sitting on the bike seat or, for running purposes, you're only going one direction. I recommend at least breaking up their workouts and always adding a strength training, coordination type of element into it, because those are all things that you're going to need for running, but you don't necessarily train with just running or biking or whatever it is.
You just try to push that extra inch or so, and you can make some real progress. So thanks again. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks.
On Make Me Stronger with Dr. Mark.